Have you ever thought about doing one of the special tours at Animal Kingdom? Today I'm doing Savor the Savanna, which includes a private tour on the truck, as well as a wonderful charcuterie board, wine, and beer. Come along and see how we do. Heading into Animal Kingdom, you know it's my favorite part. Going to Savor in the Savannah. Can the day get any better than this? I don't think so. And yet again, I got sent to security. Fran would be so proud of me. But they're always so nice, and I would go through security a million times if it means it's keeping everybody safe. So I really don't mind. And then as you approach the base, you'll see that there are all these awesome carvings. The art this one. This one's always my favorite. Look at the detail here.
On the rock or something?
And this hand comes Here's the W. He just likes his scratches. There's no one over here. But he actually followed him from up there because he wants his scratches. He wants his scratches. Look at, he's following him. He's following him. Animal Kingdom offers 4 tours, and I've done all 4 of them. Up close with rhinos and caring for giants, they take you to the backstage area to their nighttime housing, so you're not allowed to take pictures there. But you might get to pet a rhino. When they take you to the back side of the safari, you can take pictures with the elephants. Today I'm going to talk about Savor the Savanna and compare it to Wild Africa Trek. The first difference is where you board the truck. Savor the Savanna, near the train station to Rafiki's Planet. Wild Africa Trek, you're actually going through the woods a little bit. If you'll notice, this nice even pathway as opposed to the bridge that you have to cross on Wild Africa Trek. The Wild Africa Trek is above ground. If you're scared of heights, that might be an issue for you. You board the same exact truck for both experiences. Now, I'm going to show you the discussions with the keepers in a little bit, but I wanted to show you a couple things. First of all, these are just clips, and you'll see how long we spent on the savannah. Now, on the Wild Africa Trek, you meet with a keeper for the hippos, and they try and entice the hippos with some lettuce. Now, I've done that 4 times. 2 out of 4 times, the hippos moved out of the water and you could actually see them feeding. 2 out of 4 times, they just laid there and said no dice. So it's sort of a luck of the draw with the hippos. Now, the giraffes are a little more interactive. So you meet with a keeper in the savannah near where the giraffes' feeding areas are. Now, these giraffes are not dumb. They know that truck. The keepers actually call it the ice cream truck. And the giraffes pretty much come a running. We spent a lot of time watching these giraffes. The keeper was very insightful as to their feeding habits and their trainings and things like that. Now, another difference is the food. On Wild Africa Trek, they give you a metal camp tin with prearranged food in it. They say it's a snack. I would call it a light meal. There's lots of selections in there for you to choose from, and it's really quite filling. Now, on Savor the Savanna, obviously savor being the operative word, there is a charcuterie board. Now, I have dietary issues, so they actually brought me a metal camp tin, exactly what you would find in the Wild Africa Trek. I was also allowed or encouraged to go to the charcuterie board and eat anything that I knew wouldn't affect my dietary issue. So they are very accommodating that way. Another difference between Wild Africa Trek and Savor the Savanna. Wild Africa Trek, you have to get weighed in and put on all that safety gear, closed shoes. You don't need any of that for Savor the Savanna. But the biggest difference is wine. They have wine, beer, pog juice at both Wild Africa Trek and Savor the Savanna. But there were, I think, 4 beers and 4 wines to sample, as well as all that amazing food. Now, this is definitely a meal. Don't let them tell you it's a snack. We were not hungry, and I had dinner reservations that night. Now, this is Finn. He's an eland, and we'll talk more about him with the keeper later. But elands are unique in that they woo their women by making necklaces out of the grasses and flowers and foliage. So we're going to see Finn attempt to do that. Now, he is a younger eland, so he doesn't quite have it down. But you can see here him trying to pick up some grasses. And what happens is he gets a whole root ball. So it's one of those 5-gallon pails that the horticulture team has planted because the animals on the safari do eat these grasses, so they replenish them. So here he is trying and trying and trying to pick that up and make a little wreath necklace out of it. And he's not giving up. Now, what's interesting about this is when this started, we were getting ready to leave to go to the boma to eat. But the beauty of this tour is if there is something unique like this, they're going to stop and let you see it. It's not, oh, there's another truck behind us. Quick, take your picture. We got to go. So we sat here probably for an extra 5 minutes watching Finn get this thing stuck on his antler and swinging it around. And it was just really hysterical watching him.
I've started off going to school for vets, I sort of to be a vet, and then kind of decided to go this way.
My daughter's graduating from vet school.
But it's a really cool job. It's totally one of a kind. Every day is different. You never know what the animals are going to give you. But everything that we do with our animals is that they're. I'm really getting pelted by this. Everything we do with the animals is their choice. We don't force them to do anything. So if they don't want to shift in, we will do everything to encourage them. But at the end of the day, they don't want to shift in, they can stay out. A lot of times we'll evaluate, like if they've been out for so long, we might decide to offer some of their diet out here, outside of what they already get as far as like their hay. They obviously do a lot of grazing. But they also get a pelleted diet when they come into their barn, which is not exactly it, but it's something like this. Like this is actually the plus grain. This is actually a little bit higher calories, sweeter. It's more like the dessert. Some animals have this as part of their normal diet. Other guys like our zebra, they only get this for certain things. Which we do hand feed them back in the barn, but me doing that on the back of the truck would not be appropriate behavior.
She's gonna stick her tongue out at you. Yeah.
But they know that so my role today specifically is the food truck, or show truck as we call it. So they know I have all the food.
No kiss? She knows that bucket.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, look at.
She's actually not usually the one that's a pain.
And then comes the other one. Twig.
He's the pain. I was just like, Twig is the pain, and that would be Trigger right there. All day, actually this morning when I was trying to make Rouse lunch 23 keepers. So yes, we were outnumbered.
Outnumbered.
But with that being said, we are actually way better staffed than a lot of other zoos. A lot of zoos are going to have probably half the amount of people we have on just the Savannah.
He has managed to get a whole root ball on his head. That's part of the reason why our horticulture team comes out on occasion and puts out little new bits of grass, because the animals will eat it or put it on their heads in the case of Finn.
So will it fall off, or will somebody else eat it and then it'll come off?
Well, sometimes both, either or. His dad, Ben, would walk around with really magnificent grass hats that you'd get from the bushes. They were really nice, really beautiful, and the ladies would eat from his grass hats.
It's like, hey, what's everybody looking at? Oh, this one.
That's his sister Boo up there. She's not impressed. She'll make a grass hat of her own. She's a very unique lady, Elan.
She doesn't know she's a lady? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, she will display sometimes the adornment behavior as well. It's like, I can do what the boys do.
Oh my
But it looks like he has truly gotten it stuck.
Yeah, now he's going to get on both horns, and he's going to be in trouble.
He is still a younger Elan, so he'll figure out the way of the grass hat eventually. If it does get too stuck on his head, though, the keepers will come and assist. Don't worry. But this is a problem of his own making.
Oh my goodness.
And if you guys will find your seats, we'll leave.
So there are two different kinds of cheese that we have for you today. The white cubes are going to be a Midnight Moon goat cheese. This is a hard goat cheese. So it might be a little different than the goat cheese you've had in the past. Definitely worth trying. It's like the consistency of a cheddar. Right next door, the orange cheese is going to be a smoked Gouda. All of the fruit that you see is edible. It is there to make it look pretty, but it is all there to be refreshing as well. So you're going to see some strawberries, lots of grapes, some watermelon. Feel free to dig into all of those. Next on the cheese board, fig cakes with almond slices on the inside. Think of like a fig Newton bar if you've ever had one of those, but without the grain on the outside. And then there are two chutneys there as well to pair with the different bread options that you have. There's a mango chutney. Keep in mind the mango chutney is going to have a small kick to it. So don't go into it expecting to just taste mango. There is a kick to it as well. And then the green chutney is going to be a coriander chutney. Moving to the next platter, you're going to see an olive medley mix with some gherkin pickles on the inside. You're going to see Disney's notorious chicken curry salad. It did make its way into Mickey's own cookbook, so that's the one in the middle. You're going to have some meats lined up right underneath the tongs. Those are going to be a prosciutto and a dried beef. There's also going to be some watermelon radish in between some of those slices as well. So if you see something that looks like a watermelon, but you can tell it's not actually watermelon, that's because it's a watermelon radish. Of course, some more watermelons. All of the flowers that you see, those are dendrobium orchids, and they are also edible, so feel free to pop a petal into your mouth as sort of a palate cleanser if you would like. I think it tastes like a romaine lettuce, so if you're even a little bit adventurous, feel free to try that. Now don't go home and eat all of the orchids that you see on the side of the road, because not all orchids are edible, but these ones are, so feel free to enjoy those. And then moving on to the last platter, you're going to have a tandoori shrimp, which is the type of seasoning that we season with. Some pineapple with tahini on top of it. Have any of you ever heard of tahini before? Yes, it brings out the flavors in citruses. That's why you're going to see that on there. You're going to have a garlic and leek hummus. The kitchen does measure the garlic with their hearts. So it is very delicious to pair with your different bread options as well. And then the last thing on the platters is going to be a kachumbari salad, also known as Kenya salad. It is the national salad of Kenya. It's going to be tomatoes, red onions, cucumbers, and then mozzarella pearls on top. Drawing our attention over to the bar, I've got a couple different options for you today. We do have some spa water, we like to call it. It's going to be a citrus infused water, so lemon, lime, and basil. We also have passion fruit, orange, and guava juice. If we've ever heard of hog juice, stitch juice, jungle juice, some places call it moonshine. It is non-alcoholic. If we're not drinking alcohol today, you do have that hog juice as an option. Then over in the bar area, if you do plan on drinking any alcohol, just bring your ID up to the bar with you. We do have 2 beers today. So we have the Star Lager, which does come from Africa. We do have the Tiger Eye, which is actually from Florida. So it's Gainesville, Florida. We partner with some of the schools up there, and they help out local pollinators, which is pretty awesome. Then we do have 4 wines. Keep in mind, Africa is not known for sweet wines. Okay, so none of this is what I like to call juicy juice. It is all more on the dry side, but I do have them arranged from driest to least dry. So we do have 2 whites. We have the Boucatrabe and the, the Chenin Blanc. And then we do have a Cannon Cop, which is going to be our first red. And then we do have a Merlot as well, which is going to be the driest option today. Those of you who do have some special allergy requests, we do have those for you as well. We'll bring those out to you. But that being said, enjoy the boma, dig in. Again, hand sanitizer and hand wash things if you needed them. That's all I got for you.
And then Miss Carol.
Yeah? Maybe join you? Sure. All right, we'll be sitting right here then.
And this one is for you, Miss Carol.
Thank you.
So I heard that your Novi was 2.
Yeah, I can recognize them.
Appreciate it.
Okay, here's the...
Just make sure if they do have a food allergy that you let us know beforehand. That's how we can make our magic.
Yeah, I got the phone call. So I've done Wild Africa Trek 4 times. Probably pretty similar. Is this the dessert thingy?
It is.
And so we have some chicken and some shrimp. And I always laugh, they give me the mozzarella without prosciutto, which prosciutto is not beef, but they always do that. God.
And they had all that food.
Oh, wow. Okay, I feel like I need to eat more just because I don't want it to compost.
Alright, friends, in just a moment, dessert will be coming out. It's not a huge spread like this. It's more like a dessert sampling platter. But once the dessert is out, that does mean that the savory food will slowly start to disappear.
So I am so glad we didn't have a dinner reservation for... Yeah, they don't describe it as a meal. And this is way more than a meal.
You come up, try that one, and then we do usually have some left over afterwards in case you wanted to try something else after that. But starting on the outside, everything in those silver ramekins, those are going to be deconstructed s'mores. So marshmallow meringue, chocolate, and graham cracker crust. Moving inwards, we have brownie pops with different animal patterns on it. There's giraffe and zebra patterns on there. Imagine the consistency of fudge. They're very, very rich. Usually I can get through about half of one. So know that going into those, very, very rich. And then right in the middle are going to be passion fruit cakes. Also very rich. Again, come on up, get whichever you'd like. I do have some extra spoons and extra plates for you as well, so you don't have to mix your savory and delicacies.
Yes, I do recommend. Does anyone know the purpose of a lion roar?
Communication?
Communication. What are they communicating?
Territory.
Absolutely. It is different than a tiger roar, but hold that thought and keep your seats. We are all clear when you're ready. Lion roars are, I'm Gina, I live here. Any other Ginas that are in the neighborhood know that this is my space. This is my Gina territory. So basically when Dakari roars, he is just letting any other lions know in the area not to come over here, or else they're gonna mess with him. And as far as he knows, he has been doing an excellent job because there have been no other lions in like the past 10 years. And it's kind of funny, those bachelor groups are like a fraternity house for young male elephants. Leaving the herd that young is like leaving the house at 18. Yeah, you're technically an adult, but you don't know how to do all the adult things. So they either band together with a whole bunch of other clueless boys, or they find an adult male elephant and go, hey, if I don't try to steal food or ladies from you, can I hang around and learn how to be an adult male? And they sometimes
In the boma, we continued on the tour that you would normally take, but again, pausing to see some things. So we saw some water buck, which are not usually seen on the tour. The cheetahs, we were able to stop and get some really nice pictures of them. And then we stopped again by the lions, and you'll get to hear the lion roar. What a wonderful tour.
They've also, if you've seen the Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom show, they have created a giraffe leg that they put out there to let the lions like chew on it and tear at it like they do out in the wild. Ooh, listen. Gonna roar to
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping them all away.
I haven't had any of those.
Savor the Savanna is definitely a keeper. If you haven't done it, highly recommend it. The giraffes, we stopped to see the giraffes. They were basically in our truck. We got to see the water bucks up close. They give you time on the savannah to stop and take pictures, and the food was amazing. So highly, highly recommend Savor the Savanna.
Yes, we saw a lot of animals today.
Yeah.
We got a pretty good animal show, as we like to say.
and the on the horns, that was a once in a lifetime.
I have not seen Finn have a flower crown like that in a very long time. So I'm hoping he will kind of take after his papa and produce some really beautiful ones. We're hoping that Finn will get girlfriends in the future as well, so he'll have more incentive to do that. But I do want to thank you guys for coming with me and coming on this tour.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Much.
Of course.
Wonderful. So the park, I think, closes at 7. The safari has already closed, so this area is pretty empty. The only thing I don't like about this park closing at 7 is it's really not quite dark enough yet to see Pandora at night, which is absolutely gorgeous. So now that we've left Africa, you can see it's much more crowded because everything is still open for a while. All right, Lee, what'd you think of Savor the Savanna?
Oh, I love stopping and being able to really watch the animals, and they were giving the giraffes a snack. So of course they all knew they were getting a snack, so they came really close to us in the truck, and so that was really, really wonderful to see them so close up.
And there were some great interactions. I mean, even though we stopped, we saw some things that you normally wouldn't see, like the elans. What were the elans doing?
Well, it turns out, something I didn't know, that they make hats for themselves to attract the ladies.
Yeah.
By sticking a whole bunch of sod or straw or whatever on
around their horns.
Around their horns. In this case, he got it through the one horn. So we were very amused watching him trying to get rid of his little hat.
But it was a planted like bucket of grass, so the whole sod came up, and he was stuck for a while. The only thing I didn't get on video was when he finally got it off and flung it off to the side, but then he was disappointed that it came off and he tried to get it back on.
Which the correct way we learned from our guide was that it's supposed to get stuck
between the horns.
And he had speared it right through one horn.
Yeah, and
so
I mean
it was very amusing.
It was on there for quite a while. You'll see in the video that it was hysterical. That's all I can say. Especially after 3 glasses of wine. But Savor the Savanna, you don't have to cross the rope bridge. You still get the time to stop and see the animals. Am I gonna say it? Am I gonna say it that I like it better than Wild Africa Trek? I might.
Well, there was no rope.
Right.
It wasn't challenging, it was more relaxed.
It was definitely relaxed. They still parked, so you got a lot of interactions. You got to meet with a keeper, learn all about them, what they do, which you do with Wild Africa Trek, but you got to cross that bridge. And that bridge, the gaps seem farther and farther every time I cross it. If you enjoyed my trip to Savor the Savanna, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I always appreciate it when you do so. Hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come out. Visit our WDWAO Facebook group for adult-centered discussions. And last but not least, never grow up.